I see Mr. Kwang is not in the room, so I'll move to you, Mr. Menhennet.
Mr. McLeod's going to do the first part.
Okay, sorry, I didn't see that name. I still did write that down. Okay, agenda item number 18, Taupo District Performance Report. Mr. McLeod.
Well, I'll take it as read and we'll just take questions.
Okay, well, I'll turn the first page over and I'll move to 18 bar 1 and I'll give my councillors time to ask questions on each page as we go through them. So business plan, projects highlights, you can see there's a little bit of slippage there. You can see your completions, etc. Do you have any questions on page 18 bar 1? If not, I will turn my thing around 45 degrees and move to page 18 bar 2. And you can see the business plan there. The greens are obvious and the reds are obvious, and the explanations are next door to the coloured bits. Does anybody have anything on 18 bar 2? You can see the reason that the district plan change notified has fallen slightly back. Moving over to 18 bar 3. Yes, Councillor Henderson.
Just with the development of the Turangi Southern Lakeshore Settlement Structure Plan, I had a word to Deputy CEO Anne McLeod here, and she explained it to me a little more fully. But in the previous quarterly report, this project had slipped, and I think upon asking I was explained about 4 months. It's now gone green, such that it appears to be back on track and completed. Apparently, the reason that's happened is because measurements relate to both milestones and completion. And that perhaps suggested, I think if I'm correct, there might be a need for some completion milestone measurement there, because the staff have been, because of restructuring, there's been a lot of resource reduced from that project, so it could well create the impression that things are bounding forward, and I think that wouldn't be necessarily a reflection of where it's at. So anyway, just a point of interest.
Absolutely.
Take that point on board. Okay, cool. Enterprise Great Lakes Taupo, they're finalising the, would they be producing that before the next council meeting?
Yes, I'm sure that they will be producing that before the next council meeting. I know that certainly I've seen a draft of that report, but we're just waiting for the final.
Okay, nothing more on 18 bar 3. Oh, sorry, yes there is. Councillor Williams.
Just 2 points on Enterprise Great Lake Taupo. They applied for additional funding under the annual plan. So is that something? Is that the special project funds? Is that another bundle of funds?
Great Lake Taupo and the annual plan.
I'll split these two things. First of all, I think in terms of what you're talking about in relation to the annual plan, you're absolutely right, Mr. Mayor. It was Destination Great Lake Taupo who has applied for additional funding. Enterprise Lake Taupo, I think, came and gave a presentation to you where they were signalling that they were looking for additional funds, and that what you signalled back to them was that yes, you would certainly be looking at that in the long-term plan, but where you moved to, if you recall, the contract that was brought back to council not last month, probably the previous month, where we went to a 18-month contract, which gave them a bit more certainty, took them up to the beginning period of the when the long-term plan would cut in. So that allows you to do your deliberations on that through the long-term plan. Now the second part of your question, which is around the Special Projects Fund, there in the economic development bucket of money, if you like, there is a set amount which is for the EGLT contract, and that is basically $150,000 per annum. In addition, there is what we call an economic development pot of $50,000, and we have signalled quite clearly to EGLT that they were able to apply for specific projects to that pot of money, and they have subsequently done that. They've put up 3 projects. Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you, Ms. McLeod. Well, actually, the second part of my question was regarding the design of stage 1 AC bars refurbishment. I see the work options have been, the design stage 2 work, the expenditure's on budget, but I wasn't aware that we had a budget for the design, the working drawings design.
Yeah, that's the total.
We've got some in our current budget. Some, I think it's in the vicinity of a couple of $100,000 that was set aside for design purposes.
So that's for the working drawings for the whole new project.
That's the
Stage 2 of the project. You brought it up the other day, the extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the
It's only for the drawings, it's not to do the job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, 18 bar 4. Well, that review waste minimisation, you've done that, so that's gone green. Regional consents, are they through yet or still in process? It's just your consents for the EW consents, discharge, backward, etc. Yes, I take it.
still progress.
Okay, anything more on 18 bar 4, please? There's work that's on target or not on target, Mr. Williams?
Just on the implementation of the organisational structure, just a question of the CEO. Have we got a comms person and a legal person appointed at this
Well, we have, but not quite ready for announcements yet, are we? Or are you?
Yes, I can announce the comms.
You can announce the comms, okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was work in progress, that's fine, yep.
So just to be clear, our communications manager resigned just quite recently to take up a new position. Yes, and she has been replaced by Leola Abraham. She's agreed to take on the role, and Leola comes from, she's currently working for the Leukemia and Blood Foundation and has been responsible for things like the Shave for a Cure campaign. But she's also had quite a lot of experience in the States working with the Counties and Municipals Association there. When you're talking about numbers of staff that those organisations have, they're more like the 6,000s rather than the size of organisation that we have. So we're very pleased that she's coming on board.
For those of you that don't know, Leola Abraham is the wife of the gentleman that are running the new paddle steamer on Lake Maraetai at Mangakino, and she's an African-American lady and very lovely.
In terms of the corporate solicitor, our corporate solicitor recently resigned. We're just working through the process at the moment of assessing applications. So applications have closed. We're assessing those applications and hope to be interviewing very soon.
One down and one still floating. Okay, moving now to the financial highlights. Any question on that page, 18 bar 6? I'm sorry, Councillor Minchett.
Just with the employee expenses, the actual, does that include redundancy costs already, or does that become at a later date?
No, what we're doing is just amortising them each month as it stands until we get to the 30th of June to see what our net position is, actual against budget. The reason we're showing it slightly ahead as at the end of March was that there's an extra pay period in the month of March, which has just pushed it over a bit. But because we are getting salary savings and people are still yet to leave, so that there's still that gradual departure of staff, we're just assuming that we're going to be in line with budget, and we're just watching it and we're just expensing parts of the redundancy each month to keep things in line with budget. We're getting salary savings by the people who have gone.
Okay, so anything further on 18 bar 6? Move over and move forward to the financial updates, and remember it's only to end of March, 9 months, it's not the full year, it's 3/4 of a year. Start on page 18 bar 8.